Before we begin, I want to share a resource that can make your divorce process far easier and much less stressful. It's Hello Divorce. Hello Divorce gives you a guided, step-by-step path through your divorce with clear instructions, simple online tools, and support from real legal and coaching professionals when you need it. You get help with paperwork, access to affordable legal advice, and a process that is designed to save you money, reduce conflict, and keep you informed every step of the way. They've created a special page just for Divorce and Beyond listeners. Visit hellodivorce.com/Susan to explore their plans, pricing, and resources so you can see exactly what fits your situation. If you want a clearer, calmer, more empowered way to move through your divorce, start at hellodivorce.com/Susan.
Coming up on today's episode of the Divorce and Beyond podcast.
January is not the time to act. January is the time to think. So today I'm going to save you thousands of dollars and months of heartache by telling you exactly what to do and what not to do when the calendar flips to 2026.
Hello and welcome to the Divorce and Beyond podcast. I'm Susan Guthrie, your host. As a top divorce attorney and family law mediator for 30 years, I know what you need to know to get through your divorce and, most importantly, how to move beyond it to thrive and transition to your new future. My experts and I are here to give you the insider view into the process, so listen in for the wisdom and expert information you need on your journey through divorce and beyond.
Welcome back, everyone, to Divorce and Beyond. I'm Susan Guthrie, your host, and today is Monday, December 29th, and we are sitting in that strange, quiet week at the very end of the year where we find the festivities of the holidays are winding down, the guests are starting to or have gone home, and the adrenaline of this season is starting to wear off. But if you are listening to this episode today, if you clicked on the title, January is coming, what you need to know before you make a big divorce decision, then you are likely feeling something else right now too. And that is pressure. Because next Monday, which is January 5th, is what the legal industry quietly calls Divorce Day. It is the first Monday back in the office, and statistically, it's the day divorce inquiries skyrocket by more than 25%. I've certainly seen this in my more than 35 years of practice, and it's consistent. So if you are one of the thousands of people who will be Googling or already are Googling how to get a divorce, or if you're secretly looking up attorneys while your spouse is in the other room, this is an episode for you. And I'm going to say right now, stop what you're doing and just breathe. Because here's the truth that all my many years in this industry has taught me. January is not the time to act. January is the time to think. So today I'm going to save you thousands of dollars and months of heartache by telling you exactly what to do and what not to do when the calendar flips to 2026. All right, so let's talk about why you are feeling the way you are feeling right now, likely. So sociologists at the University of Washington conducted a very famous study on divorce seasonality. And they found a consistent spike in divorce inquiries in January. But they found something else that's fascinating, and they call it the broken promise theory. Many of you may have gone into November thinking, If we can just have a nice holiday season, if we can just find that spark again, maybe it will fix us. And you held on for the rituals, the family dinners, the lighting of candles, the exchanging of gifts, and the shared traditions. But you're finding that the holidays didn't fix it. In fact, the stress of travel, money, and family obligations likely magnified the cracks that were already there. And now those decorations that were put up with hope might be looking a little tired, and you are left with the realization that the magic you were looking for didn't work. So the natural reaction for many is to run to a lawyer on January 5th to make the pain stop. But here's the insider secret. Well, the phones ring off the hook in January. Actual divorce filings don't peak until March. And that is because the smart people take January and February to get their ducks in a row, to do their research, to take that deep breath. And that's exactly what I want you to do now. In fact, before you make that call that you can't unmake, I want you to sit down alone in a quiet space and answer 3 questions. Question number 1, what do I actually want? Right? And by that, I don't mean what you think you should do. What do you want? Do you want a divorce? Or do you just want the fighting to stop? There's a difference. And sometimes people file for divorce when what they really wanted was a wake-up call or a massive change in the relationship dynamic. Question number 2, what is the business reality of your marriage? Here's what you need to understand. Divorce is a lawsuit. It is the unwinding in many ways of a business partnership, a financial partnership. So you need to ask yourself, do I know where the tax returns are? Do I know how much debt we have? Do I know how much my spouse actually earns? If the answer is no, you are not ready to file. You are walking into a negotiation, which is what you do when you end a business partnership. When you go into a lawsuit, you are walking into a business negotiation blindfolded. And then question number 3, and this one is very important. I have episodes on this. Listen to Divorce Triage. I will link to it in the show notes for you. It's a very popular episode. I talked about it on that Oprah podcast episode, as a matter of fact, because you need to think about, who is my first responder? Almost everyone thinks the first call is to a lawyer. And very often that's the wrong call, because you may need someone else first so that when you do call an attorney, you call the right one or you retain the right one. So if you are in emotional crisis, your first call should be to a therapist or a very skilled divorce coach, someone who is going to help you unpack those emotions and get as much emotional clarity around this decision and how you're going to proceed as possible. An attorney is not there to help you with that. If you're worried about money, your first or second call might be to a certified divorce financial analyst, a CDFA. They are the ones who can help you understand what you need to know about your finances, what you need to pull together, and what you need to get under control as you enter into this next phase. And if you want to know what your options are in divorce before you hire a divorce attorney, you want to call a mediator or a divorce coach who's going to help you understand all of the different options for going through divorce. There's collaborative divorce. There's mediated divorce. There's a negotiated divorce. There's something we call a kitchen table divorce. There's a variety of different ways to approach divorce, none of which mean you have to go with the default of a litigated divorce. But you need to understand those options, and a mediator or divorce coach can give you the best understanding of those. So understanding who your first responder is truly an important thing. And one last thing about this, before you hire a divorce attorney or start calling divorce attorneys, you want to do that call and have those consultations from a place of emotional stability if you can. If you call an attorney when you are upset, fearful, or angry, you are likely to be drawn to exactly the wrong kind of attorney. I have all of this in that divorce triage episode. It's very helpful about walking you through why you want to pick your attorney from a place of emotional calm and clarity. So, very important to sit down and answer those 3 questions as you are making your decision here at the end of December and as you move into January and February. Next, you need to do a financial reality check. I want to really focus in on the finances for a moment because this is where so many of the biggest mistakes happen in January. Here's a very sobering statistic. Research indicates that in the year following a divorce, women's household income drops by an average of 41%, while men's drop significantly less, but it does drop. Why does this happen? Because people rush into the legal process before they understand their financial process. They often agree to settlements just to get it over with and to escape the tension, but they are not making those settlements or making those agreements from a place of financial clarity. You need to understand the financial ramifications of each and every decision that you make in your divorce and how that's going to play out financially for both you and your family. And there are better ways to do that than to go through a highly conflictual, contested divorce. But you do need to have that financial clarity. Do not let getting it over with be your strategy. Underline that if you wrote it down. Do not let getting it over with to be your strategy. I know divorce is a very uncomfortable place to be. I've talked often about divorce limbo. When you're going through divorce, your future is a very big, just unknown. It looks like a big black hole of the unknown because you don't know how much money you're going to have. You don't know how much time you'll have with your children. You don't know where you'll be living, if you'll be living in the house. There's so many unknowns that is very uncomfortable to live with. So people take on an attitude of, I want to get it over with. I'll agree to almost anything. And that is a huge mistake. So before you hire an attorney in January, before you move forward and start your divorce process, I want you to gather some things. I want you to go get the last 3 years of your tax returns. I want you to gather pay stubs for the both of you, year end, year to date. So if you can get last year's year end and then a year to date now, that's at the minimum. And then you want to know balances on debt. You want all the credit card debt, the mortgages, and all loans. I have always said to people, do not start discussing with your spouse how you're going to divide your marital pie up until you know what is in the pie and how big the pie is. Everybody starts talking about who's going to get what. Most notably, you talk about the house, who's going to keep the house. Everyone does that without understanding the entire financial picture, and it is a huge mistake to do that. So do not start dividing up your marital pie until you understand what your marital pie is. So you need your financial reality check. That goes on in January. That goes on in February. You want to know these things before you get started. All right. Here are some of the January mistakes that I'd like you to see if you can avoid. These are the mistakes I've seen people make. And so I'm going to tell you about them so that you can try to avoid them. So if you're sitting here today on December 29th planning your exit, here's what you should avoid next week. Mistake number 1, I call it the New Year's resolution bomb. Do not drop the I want a divorce conversation on New Year's Day. Don't do it. It sounds obvious, but I have seen this happen many, many times. Here's something critically important you need to understand. The way you start your divorce sets the trajectory for the next at least 2 years of your life. If you start with a blind side, if you start with conflict, if you start by dropping the bomb, you are going to guarantee a high conflict divorce, a lot of negative emotion in an already difficult situation, and you're going to make what is already hard even harder. There's a wonderful, very popular episode with Kate Anthony in the archive about how to have the talk. And it is truly the best guide for how to tell your spouse you are getting a divorce that there is out there. I will link to it in the show notes. Before you have that conversation, you should listen to Kate. All right, next mistake. I've referenced it, but I want to really highlight this. If you retain a shark attorney out of fear, you are making a major mistake. What you need to know is that the average cost of a litigated divorce in the United States can easily run between $15,000 and $30,000 per person, and much higher the higher the conflict is. A mediated divorce is often a fraction of that. So if you, on January 5th, when you are feeling upset, when you are feeling angry with your spouse, when you are afraid of what's coming, so you feel you need a protector, so you go out and hire the scariest, meanest pit bull lawyer you can find, because you are scared or angry, you are lighting a fuse, right? You are turning a restructuring of your family into a war, and that war is going to be lengthy, expensive, and destructive. Do not do it. This is why I often tell people that the very first person I think you should talk to, unless you have immediate needs for a financial professional or a therapist, is to talk to a divorce coach, because a really good divorce coach is going to help you plot out your hiring plan for your attorney. All right, so here's your January plan that you should follow as you're going into divorce season in the new year. If you aren't filing in the first week of January that most people think they're going to do, what are you going to be doing? Well, here's your permission slip for January. January is for vetting. Interview 3 professionals and do not hire the first person you talk to. I can't tell you how many people have called me up on divorce day or close thereto over the years who have then said, after a short conversation, even on the phone, that's it, you're great, I need to hire you. And I have always said to them, please go and have a conversation with at least 2 more attorneys, or if they were calling me as a mediator, mediators. You should go talk to divorce coaches, go talk to financial professionals. Again, if you get a good divorce coach, they're going to know who you can go talk to for your other professionals. So you want to go and vet the right professionals for you. You want to know how they're going to help you stay out of court, how they're going to help you keep conflict low, and how they're going to help you negotiate toward a future that works best for you, and if you have children, for them as well. And if they can't answer that, keep looking. January is for self-regulation as well. You cannot make good decisions when your nervous system is on fire. And I bet for so many of you right now, that's exactly what your nervous system feels like right now. And that's very understandable. But use this time to find a therapist and or a coach who can help you separate your emotions from your decisions. You are going to be making many, many decisions over the time of the divorce, but many of the most important ones are right here at the beginning. And you want to do that from a place of equanimity and calm as much as you can. And I know that sounds impossible because you're probably very upset and feeling a lot of emotions. None of them are calm, but it is very important for your future, for your beyond, that you get support and help in this process so that you can do that. And finally, January is for taking distinct steps, baby steps. Unless there's a reason where you need to leap forward, don't look at the whole mountain here. Just look at the next 30 days. Reality is, divorce is a process. It takes time. It unfolds over a period of time. But you do not need to know what's going to happen for the next year. You need to take the next 30 days in stride. I know this can be very overwhelming, so I did create a tool to help you do this for the next 30 days. It's a free download, and it's called your January Strategy Calendar. And it breaks down this preseason concept into a simple 4-week checklist. Week 1 will be for your emotions. Week 2 is for finding those financial documents, and so on. And what I tried to do, because I know this is an emotional time, is to take the guesswork out of the next 30 days so you can stop spinning and start planning. And I want you to know, so that will be in the show notes, the link to that, or you can go to the divorceandbeyondpod.com website and you'll be able to download that on the latest episode page. All right. So everyone, I know the calendar is flipping. I know the pressure is on, but please remember, urgency is the enemy of a good divorce. You do not have to become a statistic on divorce day. You don't need to feed the machine. You can be the person who takes a breath, makes a plan, and moves forward with clarity. If you want to dive deeper into strategy, I have a brand new blog article that came out today as well, and it's up and it's titled, Why the Smartest People Wait Until March to File. And you can also read that and get that January strategy calendar by clicking on the link in the show notes again, or just go to the divorceandbeyondpod.com webpage and click on the latest episode. Everyone, if this episode helped you lower your shoulders a bit, please share it with a friend and join me next week when the rest of the world is panicking. We'll be here talking about sanity and giving you guidance and insight and supports to get you through your divorce and on to your beyond. I'm Susan Guthrie. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the new year.
Thank you for joining me today on the Divorce and Beyond podcast. I hope you found some information and inspiration to help you on this journey. Please join me every Monday at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for a new episode. And if you like the show, please take the time to subscribe and leave me a 5-star review on iTunes. You can also find more information on the website at divorceandbeyondpod.com, where you'll find links to the YouTube channel, transcripts of the episodes, and other bonus content. So I'll see you next week to help you move through your divorce and beyond.